Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 345. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Hello, children. How are we?
So, serious question. Is the Midwest / the East Coast just getting hammered with storms these next couple of days? Because when I was looking at the schedule yesterday, games had already been postponed. And I was talking with Meredith about that because she was like, are we supposed to be getting bad weather this weekend? And I was like, well, from a baseball perspective, when teams cancel games or they postpone games a day in advance, you have to know that it's not going to be good. And I think it was the Yankees game got postponed today.
Yeah, that's you're like an hour out from Baltimore. They're supposed to be their home opener.
Oh, they're out in Baltimore Day. Yeah.
So,
that's right.
I mean, it's like that. And then the Mets also squashed it. I don't know what's going on. I'm not a huge, I don't know what it is about baseball on Thursdays that bugs me, but I feel like it's always like there's a lighter schedule. Because isn't it always Monday, Thursdays? Those are like the typical off days.
Travel days.
It's already light days. I'm not going to have any fantasy points today. That's for sure.
I don't think I've scored a fantasy point in the last 3 days. So it's all good.
That's fair.
So yeah, nothing really to look forward to from a baseball point of view today, at least, because it just doesn't really seem like there's anything. I mean, I'm about as low can get. Just got swept by the Pirates. That's a good way to really take that momentum from a series win to start the season and just transition right into a sweep at the hands of the Bucks. Gotta love that.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I was also gonna bring up the Brewers just handing it to the Mets. That was delightful. That was sweet.
No, but I'll say again, I've
a couple sweeps from bad teams.
I've been told
Brewers aren't that bad.
They're not Pirates bad. I know that much.
Yeah.
No, but you throw the Mets under the bus. There are people out there. I feel like I've been saying this forever at this point. I've been told that the Mets are a great team and that we shouldn't worry about things like this. And that somehow 2023 is going to be different. Because that's what they said in 2022, and I'm pretty sure they got swept out of their own house in the wild card series.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know what's going on. I think there's a Mets gonna Met, and then there's this is a little bit of a curse. There's something going on.
A little bit, dude. This is very much a Mets
Verlander's
curse.
starting out on the IL. Scherzer just getting tattooed. And I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't like it. It just doesn't look good. So,
well, no need.
But I mean, to be fair, the Phillies have been off to a rough start too. So it's like that. We knew it's the Braves division. It's starting out that way. It's going to end that way.
Sandy Alcantara would like to throw the Marlins into the ring.
I'd be down.
At least based on his performance, what he can do. He's going to do everything he can to see to it that it's the Marlins division.
My goodness.
9-inning complete game shutout. Only allowed 3 hits, had 5 Ks and a walk. Did it in 100 pitches. But the thing that's got everybody talking, and I wanted to get your take on this because usually something like this goes down, we'll shoot a text back and forth just to get the initial reaction. But an hour and 57-minute baseball game. Before I flip it over to you, I just want to say, whether I'm watching at home or I'm especially not at the game,
Yeah.
I have no interest in a baseball game that short.
No. I don't. There's a lot of movies that like that kind of, it bugs me if they're not over 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like why even make the movie?
Yeah, that's a good. Well, let's hop on that tangent real quick. What is your ideal movie length? Because I just had this conversation with somebody else the other day, and we were talking about it, and I'm like, I'm paying. I mean, especially nowadays with the way ticket prices are.
Oh
for movies.
yeah, and popcorn is like you have to take out a second mortgage.
Exactly. So like, if I'm doing all this extra,
Yeah,
I want to at least be in that dark, cool room
in those big recliners.
Bare minimum 2 hours.
My sweet spot's 2:15 to 2.5. That's my sweet spot. Depends on the movie, but if you start creeping into 2:45 to 3 hours long, I'm gonna have to pee. I don't like missing any part of the movie. You can't pause it at the movie theater, so
Yeah, you are quite literally, when you pee to go to when you go to pee at a movie theater, you are sending money down the drain.
100%.
Literally, because every minute that you
pee
miss,
and money down the drain.
yes, you can't get that back.
Nope. All that Mountain Dew, gone. All that money, gone. So yeah, sweet spot, 2:15, I think, to 2:30, but it has to be over 2 hours. And it's, I think the most difficult thing I'm having with this pitch clock is that these are the things that weren't brought into discussion. And it is the little bit of chess back and forth of, if this pitcher's in a groove, like I have certain things that I can do to throw him out of his groove. And now it's kind of being removed. You only get one timeout. And I don't know. It's just like there's not much you can do. And so with a guy this good, I think the last thing I would want as a hitter is to be rushed facing this dude. Sandy, Nolan Ryan, Alcantara is just ruining people. And he's been doing it. He did it all last year. He's been doing it on whole game slates. How many complete games does he have? Like, I would say more than some teams.
I mean, he led the world in CGs last year.
He's probably got more than some teams combined.
He did, yeah. Last year, he absolutely did. Let me see. 2022, he had 6 CGs last year, which led all of baseball. And I know for a fact that was more than some teams.
To do it in 100 pitches is like, it's not even Nolan Ryan like. That's like, Tom Glavine like, Greg Maddux like, efficiency. I like that.
Yeah, and look, I don't want to blame the pitch. Like, this isn't just a repeat of last episode where we're just going to rehash the pitch clock and all that. But
yeah,
I mean, it's worth being addressed here because it just happened. But I understand that Alcantara is he's an efficient pitcher. That's just how he works. So like, pitch clock or not,
yeah,
it just seems like he had a good day at the ballpark. Like, regardless what rules are implemented, what rules
I don't want to take away
exist,
from his performance at all.
Not at all.
That has nothing to do with the pitch clock. That's him.
But like, I think for me, the biggest issue, and none of this is an issue. Like, the performance itself, not an issue. Like, I love the fact that Sandy just goes out and deals seemingly every outing. Although I will say he rebounded a little, much better from a shaky start to the season. I think he gave up a few runs. This not super his MO as of the past year or so. But
what does MO stand for?
Modus operandi. How about that? Bet you didn't know I knew Latin, huh?
Just dropping some Latin on me?
How about that, dude? I am a fluent Latin speaker. No, I'm not.
What?
No.
You know I have Latin on my tattoo, right?
So you're fluent in Latin as well then?
Just what's on my arm. I don't know. And you had a couple other ones. What's the one?
I have a couple other ones.
No, there's like a couple common Latin phrases that we always say. That's like, like per diem. That's Latin.
Oh, what's the conquer? It's like conquer the night or something.
Oh yeah.
Is it c'est la vie? No, that's not that.
No.
What does c'est la vie mean?
I don't know. That sounds French, I think.
Oh, true. Duh.
What's the prima donna? That's what it is. That's Latin.
No, it's not.
That's
is it
two
really?
different words. It's prima and then donna. Everyone thinks it's pre-Madonna, like the performer. It's not. It's prima donna. Latin.
Oh, it's carpe diem.
Carpe diem. That's what it was. Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah.
How about that? Little Latin history lesson for you guys.
You're
no, but what
welcome.
I was saying is the issue here, for me at least, I won't speak for you or anybody else. I never try to speak for anybody else. Or I try not to at least. Is the in-game experience for fans. Like, I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest takeaway from this particular outing, this night at the ballpark, is that you're paying just crazy money, for lack of a better way of putting it. And you're not even getting, and look, you and I both know how early we like to get to the game. Like World Baseball Classic, we're there like before the gates even open. I try to, honestly, like when I go to games, just like if I'm going to catch a Nats game down the road, I try to get there, catch BP, just kind of indulge in that experience a little bit. But we know, we've seen people when we're at games together, and just general knowledge that more often than not, people are rolling up like middle of the first, top of the second.
Right.
Like, so you're already missing that time.
I would say, especially on the East Coast. I think that's more common on the East Coast, just because of like the 9 to 5 is the East Coast time.
Yeah,
right.
And that's fair.
You have those games that, that are starting a little early. And it's like, it's a part of it. And especially for the bigger cities, it's like, it's hard to get to the stadium sometimes. I'm curious to see if they start changing the times of first pitch. Does it go from the 7:05 Eastern to 7:30? Because it is finishing earlier. Allow guys to get there, teams to get there, or fans to get there. I don't know. It's weird. It's odd. Give me at least 2.5 hours.
I'm giving Major League Baseball a lot of credit here, but one would have to think that with running this experiment through the minor leagues and seeing that the games are shortened,
you knew that was coming.
So that would have had to have been brought up. Like, hey, if these games are shorter now, like, do we adjust start times? And I'm sure that was discussed, and clearly nothing changed. And I mean, if any change is going to be made regarding this, I would have hoped that it would have been about the pitch clock itself, like adding 5 seconds or this or that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, you're just paying crazy money. You're rolling up late. You're bringing your family of 4.
I know.
You're missing all that time, and then
one of the kids has to pee at some point. Like, it's gonna happen.
You're missing at this point. Like, for anybody listening, if you've gone to a game already this season, message me, like, just hit us up in the DMs. Let us know if you went to the concession stand and how much time, like, relative, like, ballpark estimate you missed.
Yeah.
Like, what are you missing? Like an inning? Are you missing 2 innings? Because you take your family of 4, everybody's got to eat dinner.
Yeah.
Because if you are one of those 9 to 5 people, you're probably going home, picking up the kid, picking up the family, bringing them home or bringing them to the game, and nobody's eating dinner yet, so you got to eat at the ballpark. I'm just, I genuinely am not trying to sound like I'm complaining here. I'm just, I'm laying out like a realistic scenario.
These are just this is the ripple effect, right? And so it's like if I'm a team owner, I'm probably hiring double the amount of whatever they're called, the vendors that walk around and pass out beer and sometimes hot dog or cotton candy. Like, you're not getting the best stuff, but like hire double amount of those people, send them through, and I bet you're going to make up your sales and concessions. Cause it's like, I'm not getting up. If this game is going to be over in 2.5 hours, I'm not getting up. I don't get up for a 2.5 hour movie. I'm not getting up for a 2.5 hour game.
But as a baseball fan, I'm curious, like, what is your perception of the vendors? Like, say you're in the Bronx for the weekend and you're going to a Yankees game.
Yeah.
And, you have lunch in the afternoon, you go to the ballpark, planning to eat dinner there. When you get to the ballpark, in your mind as a baseball fan, are you thinking, I can have dinner based on what's walking around with these, like being walked around with these vendors? Because in my mind, the only real substantial thing that I'm getting is what's up on the concourse.
I know, that's the issue too, because like you have to find a way to make that good food portable somehow. Because I don't want to just have hot dogs. I don't want to just have cotton candy or just popcorn. So you got to find a way to get better foods in those things. There's got to be just better accessibility. And you have heard about some of these stadiums like wanting to do the live in-game betting. Don't the Nats have that?
Yeah, MGM.
Yeah, so
no free ads.
You got to have like a lot of that stuff going on. You're making the game shorter. It's just certain things have to be adjusted, and I don't know. I feel like we're kind of nitpicking, and I don't want to get into this too much, but yeah, it is a dollar amount valued for the amount of time you're receiving, right? The amount of entertainment you're getting. If the entertainment is shortened and you're not able to go to concessions, these ticket prices are going to go up because they're not making their money off of concessions.
I don't know. It was
either way. The Twins get diced. Get diced.
The last thing I'll say about this is it was brought to my attention. I'll give him a little shout out here. Anthony had messaged me on Instagram, longtime follower, former fantasy league player. Where was it? He messaged me on the account. Oh yeah, here we go. So he messaged me a screenshot of this article. I don't even know what the article's from, so I can't cite it. And apparently this is Manfred talking, but Manfred said, when we went from no clock to a clock and lost to 26 minutes, what we found is that there was no decrease in our concession sales, Manfred said during an executive luncheon. And we think the reason for that is people kind of in their head have 2.5 hours set aside to do this baseball game. So before the clock, if 2.5 hours was at the end of 6 innings, they were gone. Now they stayed until the end of the game, and we've seen absolutely no decline on the concession side. And that's a really important indicator of how serious the problem was that we were trying to deal with.
Well, this is, I mean, while you're seeing all these stadiums that come out with all their brand new foods, right? Trying to get people to wait in line for these things and normalize it, right? It's normalizing things. That's what we're being tricked into. And I could go on this forever across society, across the board. We're being told that this is normal, right? We're being told that this is the way it is. This is how it's got to be. It's annoying. It sucks. Everything is just like, hey, this is it, right? That stupid TikTok that was going around of like asking all the car salesmen what their monthly payment is, and he's like, oh, I have a 2020 Ford F-150. I pay $890 a month, and it's like, that's not normal. Don't tell me that that's normal. So don't tell me that a 2 hour game or 2 hour 15-minute game doesn't change concessions. That's BS. You're a liar. Manfred's a liar.
Speaking of lying, do we know who's lying in this whole Tyler O'Neill, Ollie Marmol saga?
Dude, don't do my guy like that, Ollie.
Yeah, you're a big T. O'Neill guy.
I don't like that.
Did you see the clip?
I saw the interview. I saw Tyler O'Neill's interview. I did not. But did you see? I read Ollie Marmol's comments.
But did you see the play in question though?
Yeah. 100% right.
Who's
Ollie Marmol was right. Like that's, yeah, dude. Don't hot dog on.
Okay,
did that go? Did you think that went to the wall or something? Like,
this
why is
may
he jogging?
surprise some people here, but if I'm being quite honest, and I'm gonna watch it again here because I don't want to misspeak, but my initial thought when I watched that clip. Let's see here. All right, so he's on second base. Here's the pitch. Again, I've already seen this, but I'm just watching again for my own clarity here. Yeah, so
it's borderline.
I agree that there's like a clear point in time on his route home after he rounds third where he like kicks it into next gear.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that Tyler O'Neill, Mr. like bodybuilder chunkster, like I think he's moving pretty quick for like what his body allows. And I'm not ragging on his physique. Like he's obviously in great shape, but like he's not exactly like
he's not a fluid runner.
He's not a fluid. He's not
right.
like a speedster by any stretch. At least I don't think.
See, I think and being in those scenarios, like as a player, the other thing maybe in question is that like you saw the hit. There is this brief moment where you see your third base coach sending you, and you're like, I'm hosed. Why are you sending me? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is possibly a little bit of that going on in that split second, and that's why he slows up, because it's like, I'm hosed anyway. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of that. This isn't to the point. The point is that I 100% agree with Tyler O'Neill's comments that it should have been kept in-house. This isn't something that needed to be broadcasted out in an interview or broadcasted out to reporters. I think the point is obvious, right? Like if he's getting benched or not playing the next day, like, yeah, I think everyone can do the math and say that's why.
Okay, so that was another thing, is that I read that apparently O'Neill had stated that was supposed to be a scheduled day off, which I'll say again, I don't know how in the first week of the season we're having scheduled days off. I've never understood.
It's still spring training mode for a lot of these guys.
I get that, but like I still just can't fathom it, and I won't, because I'm not a big league player, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, like, dude, we're a week into the season.
I know.
And O'Neill's talking about how he's just grinding and I'm like, dude.
I know, but you look at the Cardinals specifically, right? Like you have Brendan Donovan, you have Nolan Gorman, you have Lars Nootbaar, like you have your new stud and Jordan Walker. Like you're rotating through guys and you're trying to get guys going, and you don't want their season to go too long before they're getting enough ABs. So I do understand the mentality of scheduled day off, even though I don't love that term, but I'm not buying it. It had to do with this play, and I do agree that's not the way to handle it. I think this is something where, Ollie Marmol is fairly new to managing, and I don't really remember a scenario like this last year that popped up. So these are never fun things. These are never fun things to discuss or talk about. And we see a couple every year where it has to do with a hustle play. It has to do with certain things like that. And I would have appreciated a little bit of ownership from Tyler O'Neill. A little bit more ownership.
Yeah, he was quick to defend himself.
Yeah. And these are like little things that can, I don't know, man. Like if we're going, winning a World Series is so hard. It's so hard. There's a reason why we don't see many back-to-back teams. There's a reason why we don't see many dynasties in baseball compared to other sports. It's really hard to get back there. So I need all my guys, one page, one path, one direction, all going this way. You take little minor steps outside of that path, Makes things interesting.
I don't really know Ollie Marmol from Adam, but from the limited kind of exposure we've had to him as a manager, I'd like to think that he's very, and I think I've made this comparison before, a guy that we've seen at the managerial helm for a little bit longer. I'd like to think that Ollie Marmol is part of that Alex Cora breed, where he's very much like a player's manager.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is an issue, not that Cora would necessarily be so quick to throw somebody under the bus like that, or to divulge that or expose that, but I'd like to think that Alex Cora, Ollie Marmol, guys like that would be quick to acknowledge maybe the reactionary nature of what happened, the interviews, the sound bites and all that, and then maybe even that night or first thing the next morning meet behind closed doors and say, look, this is like, that's on me.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't have said that. Maybe O'Neill's like, you know what? You're right. Like, I wasn't exactly giving it 100.
Right.
And
I think it can
amends.
depend on that immediate interaction. One of my favorite stories was like Jeter's rookie year. He was trying to steal third with less than 2 outs for sure. I think it was no outs or something like that. And he tries to steal third. He gets hosed. And he immediately walks in the dugout and sits right next to Joe Torre. And this is Joe Torre telling this story. And he goes and sits right next to him. And they don't say anything. And then, Torre just looks at him and he's like, get out of here. Like, you know what you did wrong. That's why you came and sat next to me. He's like, all right, I get it. Get out of here. If that could have been a scenario, right, where you do something, and look, every baseball player does this. Every athlete does this, where they have this whoops moment, shouldn't have done it, could have done it differently. It's how you react, and I have a feeling there's a possibility Tyler O'Neill didn't handle it well, possibly brushed off any type of possible reprimand that happened in the dugout, and then it leads to this. So you never know. These are things that you kind of have to you only get so many details. So I don't think it's a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Tyler O'Neill is still going to have a good year. The Cardinals are still going to have a good year, but these are just little things that they shouldn't be a distraction or even a conversation right now. Handle them better. As an organization, through and through, both manager and player, handle it better.
Handling things better. I feel like
you love your segues.
I feel like we have a couple scenarios that we can jump into here. I've made it an art, really, if you think about it. I've had a lot of practice to think about how to navigate these episodes.
Oh, man.
And I mean, you can laugh all you want about my segues, but I feel like I do a pretty good job of picking up on a thread or a keyword or a buzzword and just sliding right into the next topic.
Yeah.
I feel like I do a decent job. I mean, I'm not a pro, but I do what I can with what I have. I only have you to work off of. Like, I'm not just going to be like talking about a conversation and then be like, oh, speaking of that. I mean, I do that sometimes, but anyway, handling things better, as I was saying. I think we can look at the Manny Machado and Tim Anderson ejections and realize that some things maybe could have been handled a little better. Let's talk about Machado's first. Dude, I still don't to this point in time. I don't understand what happened.
I don't get it either. I saw the hand go back.
So
Machado calling for time.
Yeah, so the stupid broadcast is focusing on that beautiful human Xander Bogaerts in the on deck circle, so you can't exactly see it. But basically what happens, actually, let's see if we can find the replay here. So what happens?
Is that like 8 seconds, right?
Yeah. So here we are. So he's in the box. Both feet are in the box, all right? He puts his hand up at the 8-second mark. I may need you to educate me here. Does the rule specify whether or not you have to have your hands on the bottom of the bat? Because from everything that I've seen,
no, I thought it was just eyes forward.
Attention, focus on the hitter or on the pitcher.
Yeah,
both feet in the box at the 8-second mark. He was. People were saying, well,
I thought he was
time.
adjusting his batting gloves.
No, he was, but that's what I'm saying. Is like, are the hands on the handle of the bat a requirement for this new pitch rule?
Yeah.
Because everything that I've seen, 8-second mark comes, has both feet in the box, he's looking at the pitcher, he has his hands up for time.
Yeah.
And people were saying, well, he should have known you can't call time that close to the 8-second mark. And I said,
why
okay.
not? Why? We just saw the Rangers catcher Heim call timeout as Trey Turner's starting to swipe a bag.
No,
there is no. If you only get one timeout, you have to grant that. You have to grant that. Don't give me this like no, like these umpires have too much. Specifically, the home plate umpire has too much going on. Too much to think about. Way too much. To have the clock, to have the strike zone, to potentially watch for balks. Like you have so much. Way too much. There's too many responsibilities to this home plate umpire. And now you're seeing these quick triggers because they're overwhelmed. It makes no sense. And it's this God complex because of the fact that they have all this power.
I'll be honest with you. I feel like this season, 2023, I feel like there's less of a God complex and more of just like a panic.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it feels like they're overwhelmed, right?
Like, sure, we're seeing instances such as possibly this where, like welcome to the ump show. But I feel like generally, though, we're just seeing more of like, I bet you these dudes are just mentally gone after games because there's so much that you have to, like you're getting paid good money. And in order to keep your job and continue to do it, you got to be like on top of your game here. Although I guess we have seen instances of guys that suck and still keep their job.
The best day off would be the second base umpire. That'd be the best day off.
Probably, yeah.
Just watch for balks. Play and some plays in the outfield.
No, but like I'm saying, believe me, I get what you're saying about Trey Turner and all that and the calling time and all that. I'm just gonna play into their game. I'm gonna play into the Trolls game here. They said, well, you shouldn't call time at the 8-second mark. Okay. That's fine. I'll bite. I'll take the bait. Why then does he get called for an automatic strike?
True.
Which ended up being the strikeout. And then when he turns around and makes an issue of it and kind of is like basically just like, what are you talking about? Like, I asked for time. You then turn around and eject him. Now, how does that make sense? That's one of those scenarios with umpires where it's like, instead of just recognizing that possibly you were in the wrong and just being like, I'm going to wear this a little bit.
Just like the JT Realmuto one, right? Where he's like, it was in spring training.
Dude.
We had his glove like here. And then you watch the pitcher like get ready to like, because the umpire looks like he's about to throw it. So JT just puts his glove down. Ball gets dropped. JT gets rung. So it's like, just you can be in the wrong sometimes. You can be in the wrong and admit it at that moment as well.
And just wear it. As long as the guy doesn't take it too far, you just have to stand there, hear him out, and kind of wear that. I feel like that's a distinguisher between a younger, like a newer umpire, maybe one more fresh, and somebody that's been in the league for years.
Give them a chance to say their piece.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't go too far. We don't really know exactly what Machado said, but then you double down on the fact that like what just played out over the last 30 seconds was an absolute crap show, and then you double down by tossing him. Like, what is that, dude? Come on.
Nah, ain't gonna work, dude. It's not gonna work. And This is what I'm saying, man. They seem overwhelmed. They got too much on their plate. I'm curious to see if one of these responsibilities falls onto a different umpire, or maybe there's an additional umpire. I don't know, but
I feel like a lot of your questions have been about like potential changes to the game, and I just don't know if they're gonna make these changes, whether it be like this or
my mind just automatically goes to efficiency. So it's like if this isn't efficient, which I'm not just gonna overall sweep efficiency as the same definition as speed, because they keep saying we're not trying to make this game faster. Okay, fine. So efficiency means this needs to be smoother.
Yeah.
And if we can find a way to work through these initial speed bumps a little bit quicker, yeah, I'm down for adjustments. Super down. But I agree with you. I think I don't like the eyes up rule at all, to be honest with you. Like, as a hitter, if I'm in the box, pitcher's ready, pitcher can go. You know what I mean? It's on me if I'm not ready. 7 seconds is a long time. So, do you. And I'll take that risk. If I'm not ready, I'm probably going to take this. I'm not going to swing anyway. Why does it have to be an automatic strike?
Well, in the spirit of excellent segue, speaking of not swinging, the Tim Anderson ejection, dude just completely, he's like, no, I'm out. It's like, I'm taking this. I'm going back to the dugout. Dude didn't even take the bat off his shoulder, started walking out of the box mid-pitch. And then gets tossed for chirping back to whoever. He claimed he wasn't chirping the umpire and that he was chirping the Giants a little bit, but
TA is TA.
TA is TA.
He's always outspoken, man. Just the way he is.
Look, I guess my theme here, my takeaway from these instances is that I'm all for respecting the umpire and all that, and even more so this year because we just got done talking about these guys have tougher jobs, they have more on their plate, more they gotta take care of. But like, as umpires, as individuals policing the game each and every day, there has to be a better understanding or a longer leash given to these players.
Yeah.
And a little bit more leeway to kind of to speak their piece. Because sure, like we've had time during spring training to kind of get our feet wet a little bit as player. I say we, but the players. But there's still growing pains there.
Yeah.
And so to not allow these guys the opportunity to like kind of figure this out as we go and maybe question calls or penalties that are being handed down by these umpires that maybe were given in error, to not even allow these guys the opportunity to like turn around and be like, you mind explaining to me why you just rung me up on an automatic strike?
Yeah.
That you can't have that. You gotta have that space, and they're just not giving it to them. And that's something that you just can't have.
There's probably a list of names. That these umpires just know to look out for. And just like we have the Karinchak dude with the Guardians, you know, with his routine, and like you have these notoriously slower to be ready guys. I think they have these names, and I think they're ready. You know what I mean? Like, they're ready. They see Manny walking up from the on-deck circle, and they're like, okay, I'm watching the clock extra hard this time. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's slight adjustments that need to be made. And it's tough, dude, because like I like to think of like when I golf, people that golf in general, and I've also played baseball, like there is this weird like little mental thing that can go on as you're about to approach your ball, as you're about to step in the box and wait for a pitch. Like sometimes it's like, no. Okay, hold on. Like I got to clear myself because this is not the way I need to be thinking right now. To completely remove that is tough, man. It's tough because there is a mental aspect to this game, arguably more than any other sport, that you can't just sit back and completely rely on athleticism. You have to get your mind right. And if you need a chance to get your mind right, like, sorry, if the average fan doesn't get that, then don't be an average fan. Be a better fan.
Speaking of average fans, a guy that's not an average fan, Ryan Ripken, and I kind of threw it out to you before we hopped on. Our guy Ryan,
You want to give it a shot?
do you want to? I don't know. He won't be able to hear you, but if I call him, maybe we could get his thoughts on the old Grayson Rodriguez debut.
Hit the Instagram group chat audio call. That'll blow your phone up for sure. He won't ignore us there.
But won't the phone like explode? Like I'm trying to think of how that would work audio wise. If I'm playing that, it would be picked up by both of our mics though. I may just have to call him.
I won't answer. Put him on
Then he's
speaker.
not going to hear you. It's the same thing.
No, I'm not worried about the audio. I'm just saying like he will probably ignore a phone call, but
I don't think he will because I never
You don't
call.
think
Like
so?
we only text. I don't think I've ever. Well, he's maybe called me like once or twice, but
let's do it.
I'm gonna call him. See if we can get our thoughts. We need to get him on again. It's been a minute. Why did I just search Cal in my contacts? I don't have Cal's number. I don't know why.
Working on that. We're working on that.
We're working on that.
We're not. That's not going.
No,
That's
we're
not
not.
going anywhere. Can't lead people on. That's not going anywhere.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated.
That's an ignore right there.
That is an ignore, and he hits me with a text. He says, I'm on a call right now. He says, can I call you back?
No. Time is of the essence. Lame. Anyway, though.
No, never mind.
What?
Nothing.
In theory.
I don't want to get that out there. I don't want to put that out there.
All right. So Grayson Rodriguez. Looked pretty good. Overall, the line looks decent for a debut.
Yeah, and look, I say what you will about the line, whether you like it or not. I feel for a guy that has to go up against Jacob deGrom of all people for his debut. Like,
yeah,
you're already dealing with all sorts of emotions.
White hot Rangers offense too.
Yeah, like come on, dude. You're already like there's so much that you have to think about and worry about. Oh yeah, and then we're gonna sprinkle in Jacob deGrom taking the bump on the other side of the field for it. Like, come no. I mean, it's cool. That's definitely a something that he's gonna look back on and be like, I mean, who better to go up against? But
yeah,
that's just a tough way to get out of the gate.
I think I understand, but if it is your potential cornerstone ace moving forward, I think the only way to really do that is to throw him in the fire. You know, throw him in the deep end of the pool right away. It's different if it's another prospect. I think it is because of the fact of him being who he is and the way they view him. I like it. I didn't really love the whole him not breaking camp, though.
Yeah, makes one start in AAA.
I'm assuming that's roster manipulation, right?
No, I think the plan was to have him there longer, but because I'm blanking on his name. Who got hurt? Somebody from the rotation got hurt, and they needed to bring him up to make a start. It kind of got the process got rushed a little bit. So he was making his debut a little ahead of schedule, at least from what the team was communicating. But yeah, like from what I read, not a great start in AAA.
Yeah.
They call him up, fares a little bit better again against a pretty tough Rangers offense. But all in all, you love to see debuts. You love to see guys come up and get their shot,
He's a big boy too.
Their due opportunity. He is a big boy, man.
I like what the O's are doing. Fire me up, O's.
I don't know if I can get on board.
It's a slow grind. That's what I'm saying. I don't want my vision of them to be altered based on their performance last year. That was way premature, way ahead of schedule. They are still needing to grow and get better. And there's still additions that need to be made. And they have young guys that need to develop, but they have an exciting core. They have a good core.
I get that. But like I said, you're telling me the best you can really do is Cole Irvin? Like that's what you're going to do to capitalize on the momentum?
Off-season moves, yeah.
Yeah, that for me, it all goes back to the off-season. Like what they've done so in the first week, like whatever, I don't care. Ryan McKenna dropping a ball to then lose the game, I don't care. Doesn't faze me.
Yeah.
Like that happens. But everything that you had from last year, even if it was premature,
you had the momentum.
Cole Irvin that's your hallmark move.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I bet a lot of teams were asking for some of these big league ready guys, and they have a lot of big league ready guys. I mean, I think this roster is going to be good. This roster is going to be good. So
I'm not even talking about trades though.
Just signings.
Just open the wallet a little bit. That's all I had asked. I told the Orioles exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah, they didn't.
I said bring in Trey Turner, and you didn't listen to me. And now
that's aggressive. That's aggressive.
Now look what happened. I was telling you that pre-WBC, he goes to the WBC, sets the world on fire, and then you're standing there looking like an idiot. Sorry, O's.
Now
I
the
gave
Phillies
you a fair
are 1-5 or whatever.
now the Phillies are just lighting it up. Dude, I don't know what's going on with the Phillies, man. That's another.
It's the same thing. It's the opposite end of the spectrum that the Rays have. Start off with the two easiest teams in baseball, and you get a nice little head start to the division. Phillies, they're probably before the series against the Rangers. You wouldn't be too worried about an ass kicking there, but it came. And the Rangers are probably better than most people think. So that and, tough games against the Yankees. But I think the Phillies are still going to be fine. They're definitely missing some pieces. Like Reese not being there and Bryce not being ready yet. Like, yeah, they're missing some pieces. I think they just need to tread water for now.
But that's what we said last year.
And look what they got in. They got in with, 86, 87 wins?
But what I'm saying is you now have Reese out. Bryce is in the same boat where he's missing the start of the season. You got to wait on him, or not necessarily the start of the season, but he's missing time, and now you're waiting on him to come back.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's not possible, but...
Go get a first baseman. I don't know why they didn't do that right away.
Do you like their... I think the takeaway here is that Bryce can't be the savior again this year because you're already down a piece that you had last year when he came back.
Yeah.
I mean, Bryce can go off, but he can't turn a sinking ship around.
They'll add somebody. They'll add somebody for sure. I mean, you saw him do it at the last deadline with bringing in Marsh to play center field. You know, I think they're willing to make those moves, but yeah, they need to go get a first baseman. Curious to see when teams get closer to that deadline and they're out of it, what names will pop up as available. Shall see. Overall, though, I feel like everyone's overreacting. It's a weekend. Everyone's overreacting about everything.
That's the fun part about opening week, if that's even a thing.
Yeah,
I love it. I for so many years, it would get. I would get to the end of the week and just be like, "Stop freaking out!" But at this point, I just buy into it. Like I'm like, you know what? If people are gonna, clearly, I'm not gonna change anybody's mind, so I'm just gonna buy into it. That's the case with so many things in baseball nowadays. Like I've tried to change people's minds on certain things because I think I thought that I was maybe in better standing on the topic. But at this point, I'm like, you know what? If people want to overreact after a week, not going to name names here, but if people want to base fantasy trades off of 1 week to start the season, that's fine. I'm not gonna say boo. Like whatever. I'm here for the overreactions. Yeah. Do you have any overreactions now that we've made it a week in? I know we dabbled in this a little bit last episode, but now that we're a full week in, you got anything?
Just trying to think like around the league a little bit.
Dude, the Pittsburgh Pirates might win the pennant.
Yeah, that's a big overreaction. I told you though, and this is what was the argument you made that you were getting into it with somebody that you got called out saying that the Pirates did more than, was it the Brewers to make themselves better? Is it the Brewers that you were throwing that comparison out to?
Yeah. I got told that my take about the Pirates, albeit microscopic, that they had improved more than made more of an effort to improve more than the Brewers did.
I agree, though. They're competitive. I mean, the Red Sox aren't good, but they're not like the worst team in the league. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say they're bottom 5. Bottom 10, but not bottom 5.
The Pirates?
The Red Sox.
I thought we were talking Pirates there.
Well, I'm just talking about this series. Like, I know we can't take a ton away from it.
All right, full transparency here. I missed what you said because I was texting Ryan back telling him
Sounds
that
about
we've
right.
since moved on and we can no longer accept his thoughts on the Grayson Rodriguez
decline.
debut.
All I was saying is that like it's yes, it's a Red Sox series, but it's not like the Red Sox are the worst team in baseball. There's a lot of teams worse than the Red Sox. So for them to go in and sweep this early, it is a bit of a momentum builder. And you do have these guys that can play pretty good baseball. And I like the additions of veterans like McCutchen and Carlos Santana coming in and providing some of that structure and teaching these guys how to be big leaguers. And now you're seeing, you're going to continue to see Brian Hayes and O'Neal Cruz do their thing. And if Brian Reynolds sticks around, I would say that they have more things going for them. So I'd be excited to see a 75-win team Pirates when it's all said and done. I'd be excited if I was a Pittsburgh fan.
Talk about Brian Reynolds. I think he heard me talking noise over the offseason saying that he wasn't deserving of a Soto-like haul and just decided to turn into Juan Soto this series and just absolutely bury the Red Sox. But it's fine. Like, the little leaguer down the street at this point could bury Red Sox starting pitching. It's atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
We mentioned the Rays. Just want to touch on the Rays a little bit real quick. It doesn't make sense how they do it. And again, I know we're only a week in, but I'm already getting that sense that this is shaping up to be another one of those, like, don't know how they did it, but they're here. They're in the hunt. They're in the picture. They're leading the division somehow. Who knows how it's going to end up shaping up, but I don't understand.
I don't know either. Never.
And I don't care. I don't care about who they've played. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about their strength of schedule in the month of April, whatever. I don't want to hear it. At the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense.
I agree with you. Nothing about them excites me. Except Randy Arozarena has morphed into like this new international sensation where I've never even seen an emotion out of the guy. And then the second he plays the WBC, he's like playing loose and fun and doing all things. All things.
Yeah, I'm a big Randy guy at this point. It's safe to say.
The rest of the roster is just nothing for me, though. Wander's going to be good. That's all I got.
When do you think they lose the game? How long do you think it is before they lose the game?
Who do they have this weekend?
I am pulling that up right now. So looks like they are off today. Tomorrow, April 7th, they have the Oakland A's. Dude, the Rays.
That's what I'm saying, dude. This is what I'm saying.
Oh,
don't tell me about strength of schedule, because this is insane. To go Tigers, then Nationals, then A's, then Red Sox? Are you freaking kidding me? Are we handing them the division?
I mean, but my point here is that, like, say they run the gauntlet there. Or I say gauntlet. I use it sarcastically. Say you run the gauntlet with those teams and they still haven't lost the game. My whole point is that it's just so typical Rays fashion. The least exciting, inspiring team, arguably in baseball. Like, the Pirates get me more excited than the Rays.
I agree. These games aren't even close, though. The fact that you would be able to
do that and not lose a game. That's my whole thing.
These games aren't close. They're not even competitive games.
You should have like an off game here or there. You should just have a rough day at the old ball yard one day here or there. But no.
You randomly get 2 hit or something like that.
The Rays
4-0.
don't make
12-2, 5-1, 6-2, 10-6, 7-2. You're playing horrendous ball clubs. Watch them get swept by the A's and the Red Sox, though. That'd be sick. It's a stupid start. That's a ridiculous start for any team. Any team. That start is not okay. I don't understand who designed this. Who thought of this?
You're just saying their schedule?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they drop one against the A's.
Here's a little exercise. Let's just look. Let's look at the remainder of their schedule here for the month of April. So they just finished up a series with the Nats. They got the A's, the Red Sox, as you mentioned. That's a 4-gamer. Then they got 3 against the Blue Jays, 3 against the Reds, 3 against the White Sox, 3 against the Astros, and then back to Chicago for 4 to close out the month. Realistically, what do you think their record is at the end of April?
So they're 6-0 right now, right?
Yeah, so they
8-1, 10 and we'll say Yeah, we'll say 11-2. I'm gonna say 12-4, 15-4.
I know where you're at in the schedule based on the records that you're sharing. Right now. You just got done with the Reds.
Say 17-4.
No, it'd be 17-5, I think.
17-5.
You just got done with the White Sox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll say they take 1 out of 3 against the Astros. So I'll say 18-7.
Yeah.
And then 4-game set with the Rays. We'll just
with the White
Sox in Chicago.
Give me 3, dude. I don't even care.
Probably 3. So you're talking 20-7, 20-6,
20,
whatever that is. This is a stupid schedule. This is dumb. Like, I know you can't win a division in April, but like, how much of a head start are you going to give them?
You can't win a division in April, but you can sure as heck give a team a pretty healthy head start.
It's insane.
The most challenging part of your month of April, if you're the Rays, is the Astros, and you're at home, which, like, not exactly a home field advantage, but you're not exactly going into Houston either. So,
and if anyone's curious, they start May against the Pirates. So, you know, I
love that. Let's just restart it. And then a series with the Yankees, and then they're with the Orioles. So, like, anyway, enough about the Rays.
Joke. Just get out of Tampa. Let's go somewhere else.
Speaking of going somewhere else, I think good news is on the horizon for our dear friend Liam Hendricks. I think he is going to be heading back to the ballpark soon because he officially has rung the bell. He has finished his chemo. He's posted about it. All the support's flowing in. Love to see it.
Yeah, dude.
Liam is just that dude.
Yeah.
And could not be happier for him. Like, that's gotta be so incredibly hard to deal with, especially with the people that are like your family and your loved ones and your friends and all that, like around you, having to see you go through that. I can't imagine what that experience is like, but happy for him, happy for his family.
I think like we kind of look at a lot of athletes as almost like superhero type beings because of them accomplishing physical feats that we can't. And I think, you kind of forget that they're human sometimes. And this isn't the first time we've had a professional athlete, go through this process. I think it's pretty wild to see someone at the top of their game in their prime go through this process. And I put this on my story. I think most importantly, he's a better human being than a baseball player. And I think he is prideful in saying that. Like, I think anybody would agree. The amount of philanthropy that he does and him and his wife do, that like he helps a lot of people. And he's extremely easy to root for. He's extremely raw and just very much himself. And like, I could not be happier. Like, I really, really, it's scary to hear these things. It's scary to go through this process. But for me, I was like, I don't even have a doubt. When that news came out, I was like, he's good. You know what I mean? Like, he'll be fine. He'll beat this and he'll be back. And so just really, really happy for him, really happy for him and his family. And he mentioned in that post that was one of the most emotional things he's ever done, ringing that bell. And so just stand-up guy, amazing baseball player. If you haven't caught that episode during our COVID stretch, we got an interview with him and we basically had to kick him off. Him and his wife just kept firing off questions and topics, and he has his cats in the video. It's just like he just wanted to keep talking. So yeah, I think he's one of those guys in the league that just everyone respects and loves, and so really, really happy to see him coming back. Baseball's a better place, and honestly, the world's a better place with him. So yeah, need him.
I feel like that would be a throwback, but I have the video. That was before we had started the YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I had nowhere to put the video, but I have the video on file. That would be a fun thing to dig up. And
probably would be.
And bring
back.
back.
Way back. Goes way back.
That is a character, dude. Like,
can you believe that's 3 years ago?
No, I can't. I refuse to believe that was 3 years ago.
It's insane.
But that might be a nice little gem to bring back. That's when I was still recording out of our closet. I was in the I was in the walk-in closet.
It was two apartments ago for me. So yeah, nothing on the wall. I think I've ever seen the video. There's like nothing on the wall behind us.
Shout out to Liam for agreeing to do that, because I'm sure the second we got on there, he's like, is this guy recording against his will, like as a hostage?
I don't get held somewhere in a cell. Yeah,
love it.
Yeah,
happy for him. Hope he gets back as quickly as possible. Need him back on the bump. I'm not all that excited for baseball this weekend after what just happened the last 3 days. Is there anything you're looking forward to this weekend?
No, because are games ever going to be played again? The whole East Coast is shut down. Is it even raining over there?
My windows are blocked. I can't see.
Right.
But it's supposed to rain tonight.
No games. I don't know. I got nothing for you. I got nothing that I'm looking forward to, really. It's this weird, you're in that, I don't know. I get in this weird spot where like, see, like the excitement around opening day is done, and then I feel like it's just like norm. Like I'm back in the norm.
Yeah, we're in the dog days of April now, man.
Yeah. I did see a post the other day that like I would love to have every day have an afternoon game. Like an early game. Every day. There has to be one early game. It'd be nice.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah. That's it though. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's about it for me. I'm just gonna go back matchups. I was just looking. It's certainly not the Red Sox. It's nice though. I don't really feel anything. I told you they're not gonna ruin my 2023. You know, we're talking about getting a dog here in the next month or so.
There you go.
I'm not gonna. There's too many good things on the horizon. We're planning a little trip to the beach. A sweep at the hands of the Pirates. At this point, couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. So I'm okay. I'm in a good place right now.
Actually, I like the look of this Padres Braves matchup.
Yeah, I did see that one.
That's a possible NLCS scenario right there. So, yeah. The Braves just handed it to the Cardinals.
This Guardians Mariners,
I saw that too.
Could have a little bit of playoff preview.
I'm with it.
Logan Gilbert, Savali. I like that.
Blue Jays Angels.
Let's go Angels.
Let's go Angels.
How about it? But yeah, that's all I got. Unless you got anything else.
No.
Use promo code 3OTake at SeatGeek.
There you go.
Game. Which at this point, don't know why you'd want to go to a game, because it almost seems like you're wasting your money at that point, because games are like 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
But speaking of 20, you can save $20 instantly after your first purchase as a first-time user. Use the promo code 3OTake. That's our social handle at checkout. Save $20. So go ahead and do that on SeatGeek. That's all I got.
Yeah. Enjoy the Masters for any of my golf fans out there. I got it up right now. Just best time of year right now. Baseball, good golf, good weather. And happy Easter this weekend. So,
Very true.
Yeah. That's it. Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.